This breaks all sociological orders of the culture we're living in now, because we are raising up women to be men. And you are not applauded for your femininity. You are applauded in the contemporary society by how tough, rough, nasty, mean, aggressive, hateful, possessive you are, and you are climbing the corporate ladder, but we are losing our families. I know you can buy your own car. I know you can buy your own house. But until you create a need that I can pour into, I have no place in your life. So stop coming home bragging to me about how much you don't need me and wonder why I shy away.
He's complaining about masculine women now? The same dude that has gotten rich off of pandering to them for 30 years? The nerve of this Negro. Does he think this shameless co-opt of Kevin Samuels' talking points will come across as genuine? What's up, y'all? Layman's Journal here. I don't believe this stunt 2D Jakes is trying to pull, because 2D Jakes himself doesn't believe it. I think he's triangulating. He's using the political strategy made popular by former President Bill Clinton back in the 90s. For those who don't know what that is, in short, it's when a liberal politician presents himself as a moderate by adopting the language or talking points of his conservative rivals in order to gain votes from their supporters. Basically, it's lip service, empty rhetoric, something they say but don't believe in an effort to trick people into liking them. I say that because this is the antithesis of everything he's preached the last 3 decades. This is the same 2D Jakes that helped launch the career of Anita Bynum, who many would consider a poster child of Christian feminism. This is the same 2D Jakes that is currently grooming his daughter to be the next pastor of his church. This is the same 2D Jakes that was negotiating a deal with Derrick Jackson, the king of simps, before he was exposed. This is the same 2D Jakes that has written dozens of books, given countless sermons, and produced many films about the tired, abused black woman. This is the same 2D Jakes that created the Woman Thou Art Loosed conference that is nothing but a celebration of black female masculinity. Everything about this guy screams male feminist. He's all about women's empowerment. You don't get the favor of the mainstream media that he has by being an adversary. You don't get $1 million donation from Tyler Perry, softball interviews by the press, or do collaborations with Oprah Winfrey by speaking out against masculine women or telling them they need a man. You only get that by refusing to hold women accountable while simultaneously encouraging them to be independent from men. So why is he saying it? Because 2D Jakes isn't stupid. He knows the demographics of his church, like most black churches, is overwhelmingly female and aging. There are very few heterosexual men and women of marrying age in attendance because his marriage in regards to relationships doesn't resonate with them. It gets no results. Jesus in Matthew chapter 7 gives us a warning about false prophets. He calls them wolves in sheep's clothing, predators in disguise, but you can identify or tell the difference between who's who by their fruits or the results of their actions. It also goes on to say, good trees bear good fruit and bad trees bear bad fruit. But a good tree cannot bear bad fruit and a bad tree cannot bear good fruit. And all that's saying is, nothing good is produced by something bad and nothing bad is produced by something good. So, what has been the fruit of 2D Jakes' relationship advice and the black church as a whole? What has it produced? The answer is nothing good. The advice they give doesn't work. Jakes and other black pastors have been telling women to do nothing when it comes to finding a husband. They should just wait on the Lord to send them a man, like they're entitled to it. And they've done just that. I've seen women who have gotten saved and committed their lives to their church in their 20s that are now in their mid-50s waiting on God to send them a husband. Youth and fertility wasted on the advice of pastors like 2D Jakes. And now, after they've wasted their prime years on his advice, he wants to blame them? Tell them they're the reason why they don't have a man? Because they're too masculine? No, sir. They don't have a husband because you've been pandering to them, lying to them for 25 years. You've been telling them what they wanted to hear instead of what they needed to hear because it was profitable. Because keeping them single and giving them false hope has made you rich. That's why single men and women of marrying age of this generation have left the black church. Why they chose to listen to Kevin Samuels, a guy on YouTube, instead of a pastor of their local church. Because the problem is widespread. There's bad, rotting fruit everywhere. What Jakes is trying to do is pivot to the other side by reinventing himself. And I can tell, based on what he said in that clip, he's been paying attention to the talking points of Kevin Samuels and other like-minded content creators. Because Samuels had a message that resonated with the type of people that Jakes can attract. And he has to do something to win them over, because the black women that have been co-signing his feminist message will be dead in the next 2 decades. There won't be a ministry for his daughter to inherit. And if his ministry is to continue, he needs to get some single heterosexual men and women under age 35 in the pews, thus the co-opting of Kevin Samuels' talking points. The bottom line is, this is something black men have been saying about black women for the past 3 decades. Jakes has heard it, Jakes has seen it, and Jakes has encouraged it for his entire career. His recent statements reminds me a lot of what Creflo Dollar did 2 weeks ago by renouncing his stance on tithing after he had gotten rich off of it. Creflo is not about to give back or donate the money he's made, and Jakes is not about to apologize for all that he's done to further the divide between black men and black women. And I don't believe he's going to stick with this message. He's chasing after a trend. He wants to see if he can capitalize off it. Those statements were a trial balloon. He threw that out there to see how his congregation and followers would react. And if it works out, he'll stick with it. But if he faces backlash, if the tithe and contribution count is off, he'll go back to pandering. Because at the end of the day, he doesn't believe it. Nothing in his past suggests that he does. So I'm going to close it off right there. Please give this video a like, leave a comment, and share it amongst your friends. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe and turn on that notification bell so that you will get alerts every time I upload new content. This is the Laymans Journal. Thanks for coming by. I'm out.